We are live at Inclination Cafe. My name is Christel and I'm here with Trevor. We're going to do our podcast as usual. We're here every Sunday at 3 p.m. Just as a note, we're going to be switching day. We're going to be here on Thursdays, it looks like, Trevor, right? And we're going to start at
5 p.m. Thursdays, yep.
Yep. So we're going to change the day. But if you are wanting to be in the audience, make sure you come at 5 p.m., maybe right before 5 p.m. If you don't want to be in the audience, you can be live. As a reminder, we always tell people, we at Inclination Cafe, we want to promote anything that has to do with the Incline. That's why we have the Incline Tracker podcast. So this is the Incline Tracker podcast. We interview every week someone great, someone who has done something challenging and encouraging on the Incline. And we also have the Incline Tracker app. So if you have a phone, iPhone or Android, just go to the App Store, download the Incline Tracker app. It will track your incline. You can get swags on the app and get reward we call Bitcline. Without further ado, Trevor, what do we have today?
Yeah, so today we have someone I'm very excited to talk to. Her name is Anne LaFave. Hi, Anne.
Hi, Trevor. Hi,
and Anne has done something pretty amazing. She says she's boring, but I don't think you're very boring at all. And what she's done, she has an amazing title. She's very proud of this title, and she gave me permission to say it. So she holds the title of being the oldest person to complete the Incline 500 Challenge, which is climbing the Manitou Incline 500 times in 365 days. And she completed that at the age of 70 years old. So I think that's pretty amazing.
Oh, I don't know.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, it sure is. There's plenty of people who are not active, and to do that at 7 years of age is incredible.
Well, my recollection, I was thinking throughout the whole week, they told me we're going to interview Anne, and I keep thinking, if it's the right person, this is the lady when I was doing my 500 or 1,000 incline, I was trying to catch up all the time. And I kept going back and forth. Maybe that's not her. Maybe that's her. Turn out that's her. And she keeps saying, no. And it's so true. At 70 years old, but I don't know how old you were at that time, I was trying to catch up with you. So don't be so humble. So let's have some fun here. We're going to talk about your background, right?
Okay.
So just tell us a little bit about what did you grow up and what was your your childhood was like.
Okay. Well, I grew up in Wisconsin, Racine, Wisconsin, right on Lake Michigan. It was in my backyard. I had a great family. I had a great mom and dad, a lot of love. I started running when I was actually 13 years old, which you've got to remember, I'm 74. People didn't do that. So I would run after the sunset, and it was dark. There was a big field across from my house. So my dad would walk the field and probably smoke a cigarette while I ran. And then I've just been running ever since, running or biking, something. I just have to do something first thing in the morning. It's just who I am.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned here that women was not doing these things too much at the time. They were involved in competition in sport. Tell us a bit about that.
Oh, you mean the competition for sports?
Yeah, you said they weren't doing
Oh, no.
that.
When I went to high school, there was nothing for women for sports. You could be a cheerleader or a pom-pom girl. And then
What year about?
Well, I graduated in 70, so we're looking 60, in the late 60s.
Yep.
And it wasn't until my senior year. I ran, they had one track meet. There were 4 girls. My graduating class was 700, so there were a lot of girls. We had 4 girls run a relay at the Racine Journal-Times track meet. And then my senior year, they opened up track for girls, and I ran the 200. It was the 200 meters at the time. I wish I was born in the wrong generation. I think I would.
Did you ever compete in tracks? Did you compete?
I did in high school. But not in college. There was nothing.
Yeah.
You know.
So in that senior year, you were able to finally
That was
compete.
the only year.
And I think you or David were telling me it was 200 yards back then, and you.
Well, I think it was 200 yards or meters.
I think it's meters now, so it must have been yards.
Okay, it must have been yards, and then they
and
switched.
you have a funny story about holding a record still back then.
Yeah, because they retired the yards, and I had it for 10 years, and when they retired it, my name was still there. So.
Well, tell us about that. Why did they retire the yard?
I have no idea. Because they went to meters. They switched over to meters, and I just, things change.
Yep.
We're always
And-
changing.
And she was the last person to hold that record, so she
Right.
still holds her high
Yeah.
school running record because
It's
no
in
one
the-
can break it.
That's
You
right.
can't compete against 200 yards anymore.
That's
so-
right.
It's in the closet somewhere.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Fine.
That's neat. So you love to run. It sounded like you had a good dad who would follow you around while
I
you're
know.
running just to
He did.
protect his girl. I do the same thing for my girl if she wanted to pick up running. So
That's right.
that's neat that you found running at such a young age. Like a lot of people, they go through a lot of their life before they realize that they love to run. But what made you realize you loved running at such a young age? Because 13 is pretty young.
I don't know. It's just kind of in my makeup, I guess. I'm someone, when I run, I have a tendency to zone out. I don't even realize sometimes that I'm running, and all of a sudden I'm done. I can't answer that. It was just something in me. And then, and it's funny because even, after I got married and had kids, the kids would say, "Oh, I can tell Mom did not run today. This is not going to be a good day." And, people will ask me even on the incline, why do you do this? And sometimes I'll say, well, I can either pay to go see a psychiatrist or I can come here and,
Yeah.
and talk with God. For
Well,
me,
there are reports that running help release serotonin, which is part of some medications that people take now to help with bipolar, with mood disorders. Did you know that, or it just?
Nope, but I do know that after I run or bike, you feel relaxed,
That's
and
right.
there's a peace that you have that you don't. If I didn't do it, I probably am someone that they would label with ADHD.
See, there's something we
I'm-
don't need doctors for, right? The
No,
body tells us
That's
that.
true. That is so
that
true.
natural, wonderful feeling.
That
That
is
runner's
so-
high
that-
they describe.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That is so
So
true.
it's neat that you found that so early on. That's amazing.
Yeah, everybody
And
has.
then did the running evolve into other sports, or was it always consistently running for you?
No, because it evolved into other sports, but mostly. In fact, we played soccer as a couple when we were younger. But it was either running or biking. Those were my two. When we lived in Sacramento, I used to bike the American. Went along the American River. It's a beautiful ride. It's 25 miles, and I did that in the morning. I have to exercise in the mornings.
Are you following the soccer game?
Am I? Yes.
The World Cup?
Oh, yes. It's on right now.
Yeah, it's on right now. Who are you rooting for today?
I don't know.
We have Spain against Argentina.
I don't know. Some people said they want Argentina, but they won. I understand they won last year.
Well, I was rooting for Argentina because we're on the American continent, right?
I
So
know,
at least
that's
we
what-
can-
That's what That's what somebody.
America's, yeah.
That's right. We're in the
continent
Americas,
needs to be-
right?
That's what. Someone on the incline said
That's
yesterday.
right.
Said, "Well, I want Argentina, but let me just tell you, my granddaughter, who's 16, said there's a really hot boy on the Spain team."
That's
so,
right. That hot
There you
boy. That's right.
There you go.
That's why she's watching soccer, huh?
Yeah.
And
Well,
then,
go
I
for
wanted
it.
to ask, you just hit a really great achievement in your marriage for how many years you've been married. Do you want to talk about that
That's
and
what
a
I was
little
gonna
bit
ask,
about
actually,
David
yeah.
and how you met him?
I've known him my whole life.
No kidding.
Yeah, I did.
Tell us.
We went to the same church, and I never in a million years thought I would have married him.
Why?
Why? I
He was not as handsome.
No,
Oh.
he was he was really smart, and he was kind of a geek.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, and even our pastor said, I remember one time,
Are
he
you
said,
one of the popular? You were like the popular group, and he's like the geek group.
I don't know, maybe when I
Yeah.
started, maybe a little bit when I ran, but not real popular. But
Yeah.
anyway, I'm a little bit older than he is, and he was my friend.
Yeah.
And then when he left to go to the academy, I didn't realize how much I was going to miss him, and that was it.
And that's how you knew.
That
Air
was
Force
that was
Academy?
it.
Air
Yeah,
Force Academy.
yeah, that was it. That
And you've
was
been
it.
married for how many years now?
51.
51
51.
years. So
Yeah.
amazing.
Wow.
It's not always easy.
It can't
Yeah.
be, right? Like,
Yeah.
if it was easy, everyone would be married for 50 years.
Yeah, if it was easy, you're
But
right.
you grow together, and
You do.
And those hard
And you
moments,
learn, yeah.
Yeah, those hard moments bring you closer.
Oh yeah,
over time.
absolutely.
Yeah, so that's
Well, now,
beautiful.
during that time, did you run? Were you still
Sure.
running? Were you still involved in sports, or
I was, well, when I had my children, I ended up, I bought a bugger. They called them a bugger for the back of the bike.
Mm-hmm.
It was black molded plastic, weighed about 35 pounds. They're very lightweight now, but back then, when third baby was born, I switched over to running again, and I would run at like 5 a.m.
5 a.m. Actually, I always see you in the morning.
Yes.
When I'm there.
Oh,
Like 5 and 6.
Yeah, I go even earlier now
That's
during
right.
the summer. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing some Saturday exercises where I start very early.
Oh, yeah. You have
And
to.
it's like right before the sun comes over, like 5 a.m. You're like, I think I see you around there, or
Yeah.
maybe even earlier sometimes.
I was just going to say, it's such a beautiful time if you get there early and you catch the sunrise.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
so
always,
magnificent.
yep, I send the sunrise to my kids and my couple of my grandkids. Yeah.
But should we jump into athleticism?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do it. You mentioned that for your whole life you have exercised in like a solitary, kind of on your own setting. What kind of guides you towards doing activities by yourself? Like, why is that your thing?
I think because I tried running with my husband, and I said, after the first time, I said, this isn't going to work for me. It's just not, he's flat-footed, and every step I could hear him slapping his feet, and I said, it's not going to work. And, a lot of people listen to podcasts or different things. I can't do that. I'd rip that off and throw it away. I'd love to hear the birds sing in the morning, and then, like I said before, I'm someone that just kind of zones out, and
You're a deep thinker.
I am.
Yeah.
I solve all the world's problems,
All right.
and my own.
And you mentioned that you got into running and you actually did the Denver Marathon at one
I
point.
did.
Yeah, can you tell us a
did.
little bit about that?
I did it. Like I said, I don't normally run with anybody, but this lady I ran with for 3 years. We both had kids. We ran in, early in the morning, and she said, let's run a marathon. And I said, yeah, sure. She said, well, we can't just do it. We got to train for it. So we trained for like 6 months, and, we increase our mileage every week. And I think that was pretty much, how we trained, is just to start increasing, because we were running 5 miles every morning. We would run from Douglas Valley to, if you know the academy, to the North Gate and back. And then, so we started, and we did, like a couple weeks before the marathon, we did a 22-mile run, just to make sure we're going to be able to finish.
That's right.
Yeah, that's some
Yeah.
good distance.
Well, now, it looks like you've done some triathlon.
Some what?
Some
Well,
triathlons.
triathlon.
Oh, triathlons.
With the
I thought you
swimming
said,
and
I'm sorry,
biking.
I thought you said trail runs. Yes, I did.
But those are my fears.
Why?
Because I don't know how to swim.
Well,
Well, I know how to swim, but I don't
can't
think I can
swim,
swim
Crystal?
that long.
Oh.
Well,
And
well,
like
no,
open
that's
ocean and stuff. That's your
I
fear.
would be scared to go.
Getting lost
well,
in
I
the
know I
waves.
was with on an island, right? You think I
Yeah.
would know how to swim
Yeah.
like that far.
But this is not the Ironman. This is just a triathlon.
But it includes swimming,
Yeah, it does.
running,
It
and
does.
biking, right?
Yes.
Tell us about
And
that.
I'm a horrible swimmer.
You are.
I am.
Well, maybe I have hope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I even joined a master's swim club so I could get better, but I never got better.
Well, so what did you do to prepare for those? And did you have to overcome any fear before you did any of these?
I didn't really do any, because I was already biking and running. And there are biathlons where you can do just biking and running.
Okay.
So
I
you
didn't
don't
know
have
that.
to do the swimming.
Yeah,
So
I
I
didn't know
didn't.
that either.
I didn't really. Yeah, there are, but I didn't really train for it. It was just something I'd already been doing 2 of them. It was the swimming that.
And then in our pre-conversation, you mentioned that you were swimming, and there's this funny story about how you were the last one
I was the
swimming.
last one, and
Tell us about that.
they turned the lights out in the pool, and I was
Whoa.
still swimming. So see,
Well, it
there's
wasn't a pool. Okay, it wasn't open.
no,
Okay, all right.
no,
But
no.
better.
they turned the lights off on her while she was still competing.
So see, there's hope for you.
So she finished up, and then you said she's really good at biking and
And
running, so she
running.
caught
That's
up with
right.
everybody,
Yeah.
though.
Right.
So
Okay.
they got her on the swimming, but not the other ones.
Well, now, have you ever done it to win or to place?
No, I think I mostly just did it just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
And my kids have done triathlons. When we lived in Southern California, it was an ocean swim. And this is a funny story about my son. Is that okay if I say?
Of course.
He was doing the running part, and he thought, well, he's doing really good. Well, first of all, it was the ocean swim. And they're in their Speedos because they swam competitively, and everybody else is in a wetsuit. And they looked at me and said, Mom, this doesn't look good. And I said, oh, honey, I'm sure it's just fine. But anyway, the funny story about him is he got to the running part, and you have to write your age on your leg. You write your number, and then you have to write your age. And he's thinking, okay, he was in his 20s. He's thinking, okay, 30, okay. 40, 50. When 50-year-olds started passing him, he said, "That's it." So anyway, that was just funny.
And so everyone's in these wetsuits, and he's in a Speedo in the ocean, and it
And
must
there's
have been
big-
cold, right? 'Cause-
Yeah, and there's big waves, and I said,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm sure they're not as big in the morning." And so we went to ask one of the guards, and they said, "Oh no, they're even bigger in the morning."
Oh, of course they are, right?
Oh, this is great.
Yeah. And then the temperature is a big
It's
challenge
cold. It's-
whenever you're
yeah.
doing open ocean swimming.
Yeah.
Yep.
So to
Yeah.
do that just in a Speedo, yeah, that definitely impacted his performance.
I know.
Well, now you said you had a cycling accident
I did.
during your. So were you doing a triathlon at the time, or?
No, we were just biking on the Santa Fe Trail and going too fast and following him too close, and he.
And he brake checked you. And,
Yeah, he did, and
didn't realize.
I braked my bike, and the last thing I remember was the back of my bike lifting up. I remember nothing.
So you had to go to the hospital.
I went to he called an ambulance because I was out cold.
Wow.
He thought I was dead.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa. And
And-
how old were you at the time?
I don't know, probably in my late 60s.
Wow.
It was during COVID, so 7 years ago.
During
yeah,
COVID,
probably.
gosh.
Because they had to, one tooth fell out, and they put it back in the emergency room, and I still have the tooth, as long as they get it in 24 hours. And then they wired all my teeth together because I cracked all of them, and then I shoved them all, and so they splint them together, and you leave that on for
So
6 weeks.
you had lost the tooth.
Yes,
Then, and
yes.
they put it back.
Yes. If
In
they
the
can
car.
get it in 24 hours, there's a good chance they can
You
save the
can do it.
tooth.
Isn't that
And-
amazing? I asked, I was
Yeah.
rock climbing with Rudy yesterday. He's a dentist. And I was like, have you ever done this? And he said, oh yeah, we do that procedure all the time. I had no idea that if
Yeah.
a tooth comes out, you can put it back in. And
Within if you get it in
Yeah.
the first hour, and it's funny because I was in the ER and they wanted the oral surgeon to come in just to put my mouth back together, and he said, "No, I'll walk you through this," to the doctor that was there.
amazing, because
And-
time is like, you
Yes,
have to do it quickly.
if we had waited for him, they might not have been able to save
Right.
the tooth. So yeah.
And then she was saying that they wired her mouth shut, but it was COVID, of course, so she could wear a mask,
Yeah.
and nobody even knew that her mouth was
That's
wired.
right.
Because it was wired for a
Yeah.
whole month.
But now, you tell me, I didn't even know what that is. So you say something about tower running.
Yeah.
What is tower running?
Well, that was Steve Sturmer. That was his fault.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
said-
that's right. He does those stairs.
He does.
Yeah,
he
well, tell us
does.
about it. I'll let you
And
tell us.
It's a fundraiser, usually for like lung disease, and you race up skyscrapers. And
So you just go up the stairs.
it's
Well,
not.
it's a structured competition, and you have all sorts of competitors.
Yep.
And it's all timed based off of the amount of elapsed time spent going up the stairs. And you go up, you ride the elevator down, take a little break, and then you run back up again.
Oh.
Now that's if you do like a vertical mile.
Oh,
But
okay.
like the stratosphere, it's like 105 floors. So you
Oh, I
just,
see. Okay.
You go straight up. Space Needle, you just go straight up. You don't come down, and you have a chip on your ankle, and it's not what you think. You don't run the steps. You double step, and you use your arms to pull yourself up.
That's right.
Pull
so
up
you
the
had
handrail.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. So you did a lot of training with Steve Sterner, and,
Yeah.
and Steve Sterner is a gentleman who has done the incline every year
Every year.
religiously for the last.
It's been so long, but
For the last maybe
I have
5,
one
10
fact
years?
about him. Longer.
Okay.
He's climbed the incline 6,100 times now.
Every year
which
he
is the
does
most any human
500
has ever
minimum.
done. Yeah.
Minimum
Yeah,
500.
Yeah.
Every time he comes, he does 2 inclines minimum.
Yep.
Yep.
And then so you had to train with him to do those tower running
Well, he's the one that got me into it. Yes.
So
Yeah.
how did you train? Tell us about it.
Well, he took me over to the, Penrose Hospital, and we climbed the stairs there, and he
Okay,
said,
well, that-
this is how you double step, and you've got, and remember, I can't swim, so my
That's
arms
right.
have no strength.
That's
So
right.
all my power comes from my legs. So you double step all the way up. And then in Oklahoma, it was called the Triple Dog Dare. And so you go, there's 3 separate buildings. You go up, and then you run down the stairs as well. But a lot of people, and it's not, usually it's 14 steps for a flight. I believe that's what it is. Steve, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But a lot of people will stand at the top and just jump.
Huh.
And I don't know if you know Mark Ewell. Do you know Mark Ewell? He's really big into tower running.
Okay.
He does the
Yeah, I
incline
recognize the
once
name.
in
I
a
have not
while.
met him,
Yeah,
though,
but
yet.
anyway, he jumped from the top, broke his ankle,
Oh.
and he finished the race on a broken
And that's
ankle.
as they're coming down, they're jumping the flights of stairs.
That's right.
So
They're
he's
jumping.
jumping 14 stairs.
Well, he did.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Like my
That's a lot of
sometimes my daughter would slide her arms, because my daughter got into this really big time, and she'd slide her arms halfway down, and then she'd just jump.
Okay, I
She'd
understand
jump
with the
halfway
technique.
and then jump the rest of the way.
Yeah,
But Mark would
You gained
slide.
some time there, yeah.
Mark would slide his arms down, and he, and he
Just
finished.
landed wrong and broke it.
We need
kept
to
going.
install some railing for Bob
On
at the incline. On the incline.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get his record back.
You're right. You're right.
So it sounds like you've climbed some pretty interesting buildings. You had mentioned a few. What were your favorite ones?
I think the Stratosphere in Las Vegas, just because Steve talked another friend who is a little bit older than me into doing it, and we kind of went together, and it's just a fun place to do it. And like when I'm doing tower running, I don't want to know what floor I'm at. I just don't even want to know. I just want to keep going. And every once in a while I'll peek to see, okay, I'm at floor 45. Okay, I still got another 60 to go. And I remember, I don't know if either of you know Colleen Carl. She's the one that did it too with me. She's a little bit older than me. And they always have, people at different landings. Are you okay? Are you okay? And somebody asked her, are you going to be okay? And she says, yes, I'm just tired.
Well, you know what? You mentioned Steve Sterner many times. So tell Steve he needs to come on our podcast.
Yes, I don't know.
He's a legend.
I don't know if he will. You can ask him.
I know. I
would-
asked him already. He has not said yes yet.
Yeah.
So since you've
You
done it
tell
with
him that he's the one that got me to do the 500.
That's right. Well, you guys
He's
to
the
come
one-
here.
Yes, he got me to do the tower running, so he needs to come. I
That's
came.
right.
He needs to come.
That's right. So I actually did a tower run. You may
In
have been there
Denver.
possibly. Or it was the one in
It
Denver.
was.
And I remember my biggest memory is just feeling so dizzy because you're going around and around.
That's
and
right.
all the way up the staircase.
yeah.
And I remember just thinking like, I'm getting kind of dizzy here because you're just
Yeah, that's
running
true.
around in circles. How do you defeat the dizziness, or does it not bother you anymore?
It doesn't bother me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm just too busy looking at the next step.
Okay. That was my biggest thing. It was just
Yeah.
my head is spinning because it was just so many circles.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the incline now, right?
Okay.
So when was the first time or you've learned about the Manitou Incline? Because you don't even live around here. You live up north.
Yes.
Right? So how did you hear about the Manitou Incline?
Well, once again, it's Steve Sturmer.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, really?
Because I was going up the incline, and you know where Monty's Tree is?
Yeah, about
And-
1400.
Yeah,
so
and I would
1400.
come all the way down, and I'd turn around at Monty's Tree and go back up. And Steve said, why don't you do 500? You're already doing essentially two a day, because the bottom is pretty easy. And I said, well, I thought about it, and I said, no, I don't want to do it. And he said, well, you really should think about this. And so eventually I did. So, yeah.
And that's what also caused you to hike it over and over again? Like, so by him talking you into doing the 500, is that why you decided, okay, I'll do 500 for that year? Mm-hmm. And how many times have you done 500?
Just once.
Oh,
Just
okay.
once. But, I looked at it as, okay, you got to do 10 a week, 2 a day for 5 days, and that'll get me to 500.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not Steve Sturmer. I'm not going to do 500 again. But instead of doing multiples, I go higher now. I just go higher. There's a lot of places like have you ever been to the Experimental Forest?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very nice
It's
up there.
beautiful up there.
I
That's
know.
right.
Do you ever go to Rocky Mountain Peak or Eagle's Nest area?
Eagle's Nest, but yeah, not Rocky Mountain Peak.
Okay.
But and sometimes I'll go up to like mile marker 4 or 5. I'll just go higher.
Yeah, it's so beautiful back there.
Yeah.
Have you ever done the trail all the way up to Pikes Peak?
Yes.
Yeah, so those are great trails.
Yes.
So we've done those. And then so
I would know, when was the very first time you did the incline?
Oh gosh, probably 23 years ago.
Okay.
I was biking.
23 years ago?
Yeah, I was biking in the morning, and then I was doing it in the evening. A different friend said, hey, you want to go do the incline? And I said, yeah, sure, why not? I've heard about it. I'll try it. And then we started going once a week in the evenings when she got home from work. So,
and what did the incline look like 23 years ago? Because
Very
this was
different.
like an abandoned
Very-
private property at that point.
I know.
Right? It was It was not
Very-
this manicured, beautiful hiking trail that's
Well, I
so
thought it was
easy.
beautiful back then.
Was beautiful, right? But
Yeah,
the
but
trail
that's
was not
before the
so-
repairs, right?
Yeah, repaired it
Yeah.
That
easy.
was before the repairs, and you could park wherever you wanted.
That's right.
Not many people were doing it because it was illegal and for various other reasons. And yeah, I miss that.
And we didn't have a cafe after the incline.
And
Yeah,
that's
no
true.
inclination
No
That's
inclination
true.
cafe.
That's true.
No incline tracker, right? So those are great things, but I think that that time was unique because it was
It
pretty much
was.
a retreat, right?
It was. It really was. It
Yeah.
was.
So on this 500 challenge, so you were hiking the incline, you were doing kind of multiples. You got talked into doing multiples because you're already here. You might as well.
I know.
And what I would like to know is, so once you started, was it challenging on your body in any way, or was your body? It sounds like you were very conditioned, and it wasn't actually more
Well,
than you were
have to
typically
You
doing.
have to kind of know your body. This is a funny story, though, and you probably didn't even know this, but Catherine Partridge had the most for 1 month. I broke a record.
Oh, yeah?
For 1 month, and Rachel was right behind me.
Yep.
And she said, "I'm going to break your." I never got credit for it. Nobody knew. But anyway, Rachel said, "I'm going to break your record. Do you care?" I said, "Of course not, Rachel. Just do it."
That's right.
Yeah.
Records
Yeah.
are meant to be
'Cause
broken.
I
That's
know,
right.
because at that time I was doing 3 consecutively inclines, and because I remember
But 3
talking
incline back to back.
Yes.
Every day,
5 days a week.
5 days a week.
So my
That's
number
right.
15
my
a
number
week,
for that month was in the 70s, but now people have blown that out of the water. But
Yeah.
anyway, back then it was and Rachel was just so sweet. But you have to know your body because that was too many for me at that time. You got to remember, I got titanium knees, and my hip was hurting, and my knees were starting to hurt. And I said, Rachel, somebody said, well, just go home and take an Epsom salt bath. But I realized that I needed to cut back to 2. I could do 2 very comfortably, and I was fine. But to do 3, it was too many.
Yeah.
So-
So you mentioned the knees. Like, that's another element to this story that is incredibly impressive, to climb the incline hundreds of times with titanium knees. Like, I think it's amazing. A lot of people, they don't recover from a surgery like that, and
Yeah.
there's just so much more existing pain. And has your performance with your running and stuff, has it improved with the knee replacements, or did it? What was the experience like having your knees replaced while being such an active
Well, I
person?
swore I'd never have it done. I had to hang up my running shoes at 50, and that's when I started biking more, because I know I went in to talk to the oral surgeon, and they wanted to do some surgery to try to regrow my cartilage, and I said, well, can I run again? And he said, do you want to walk? And I said, well, okay. I guess you gave me my answer. So I said, I don't want to do that particular surgery. So I started biking a lot, and I would bike about 25 miles a day, 5 days a week. So, and then, I was still doing the incline, though. I would come in the evenings, and then I started doing the incline more and more. But then I went back in to talk to, and I did the Synvisc, the rooster's comb in the knee. You're probably familiar with that. And then I went back into the surgeon, a different one, and I said, I'm spending more and more time on the couch. I think it's time for me to replace my knees. And so I did one. People thought I did this on purpose. I did the first one when they shut the incline down to.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
To
to
do
repair.
repairs, or
Yeah.
was it for?
For the repairs,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
for the
Okay.
repairs.
Yeah.
And then they shut it down because they did it in 3 stages to the repairs.
They sure
to the
did, yeah,
incline.
across the decade.
So, and then the third one, that's when I did the second knee. So yeah, people said, you did that on purpose, didn't you? No, it just,
You didn't though? Oh, it was just good timing.
Just good timing.
yeah,
Yeah,
it just
yeah,
happened
yeah.
to be good timing.
Well, so you do a lot of work with women on the incline, I heard?
No, I just did that stepping up.
Women stepping up?
Women
Yeah.
stepping up. They
Yeah.
asked me to come and just talk.
What
And
is that? What is women stepping up?
women that don't normally exercise, they partner with somebody. They didn't partner with me. They just asked me to talk, and you work with them to get them to a level where they can maybe make it to the top of the incline. And so they just asked me to come and speak, and I said I would. And I said, stepping up for you is trying to exercise. Stepping up for me is speaking in front of a group of people, because
right.
it's something I would never do. And she said, well, just talk for about 20 minutes. But I think when you're nervous, you talk really fast.
Right.
So I was probably done in 10 minutes. But anyway, and you know what I said is anybody can do the incline. You have to pick a pace that's comfortable for you. And you know, just as long as it takes, that's how long it will take. I mean, I have seen people with no legs. I've seen people with one leg. I've seen.
That's right. That's right.
You've
yeah.
seen it all, and you know.
Yep. That's right. And then there was a little bulletin board at the bottom. You guys, the Incline friends, they put it up, and you see these guys, no legs at all.
Yeah.
But they made it.
And there's a girl too,
Yeah.
and they both.
Actually, I was there when they were doing it. And these, you would go back and forth, and they're still there, but they didn't quit. That's the thing.
Absolutely.
They did not quit.
Exactly.
Exactly. So we want to talk a bit about your 500 challenge, right, Trevor?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
why did you choose to do the challenge? I know we talked about it. So was it Steve who talked you into it, or you said, okay, I'm going to do it?
Yeah, he talked me into doing it. I don't know. He talked me into tower running. He talked me, and I thought, well, yeah, okay. And you know, I think you have to just take it one day at a time and just do
But
what
did
you
you
can.
plan? Like, so, okay, I'm going to do 500. I need to do 2 per day. I'm going to take
Yeah.
this time off. Like, did you plan all that?
Well, minimally, I thought if I can do 10 a week, I can do 500.
That's right.
And,
I think so.
and I don't necessarily like to come on the weekends. It's just too crowded. And
It's incredibly crowded. Yeah.
I don't come in the weekends during the summer, but you know, during the winter. And I have to admit, my husband is my biggest cheerleader. He truly is, even
That's a
with
good
tower
job,
running.
David.
He's paying for me to my fundraiser. He's there with his pom poms and watching. And my daughter did it with me a lot, and he'd watch the grandkids. So, and even with the 500, I wanted to quit a couple of times. I said, "This is crazy. Why am I doing this?" And you know, especially, and I can see why Scott is my age, and he was at 70. He was going for 500, but he quit at 450. And I
At
said,
450?
Yeah.
Gosh.
And I said, why
Close.
did you quit? But I get it. And I had already done 500, but I understood because. You know, you think, oh, you're almost there when you're at 400 or 450, but you're not.
No.
Mentally, it's, oh, gosh, I still got to keep doing this
That's
for.
right.
Yeah. And I know Scott well, and he told me, I just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't need the title. I
I
know who I am. Yeah, I don't know.
And you know, and
I don't
that's,
want to do it anymore.
that's exactly how I felt. And then my husband, because we're walking out of church one day, and I said, I'm done. I just don't want to do this anymore. And he said, just finish.
There you go.
And
You
if
need
it
these
weren't
kind
for
of people.
him,
Exactly.
I probably.
So what was your greatest challenge? Like, what was like something that was very challenging for you during that time, during the 500?
Was it maybe that voice saying, I don't really want to do this anymore? And it was probably that. Yeah.
Well, I thought you were going to say my greatest challenge in life would be raising my kids.
Well, I'm
But
sure
anyway.
that was a challenge.
But anyway, the greatest challenge, I think the mental, it wears you down after a while.
Mm-hmm.
When you start getting close to 500, it just kind of wears you down. I love doing it in the winter, but when you're not going for a certain number. If the 100 steps, sometimes they can be a sheet of ice, just a sheet of ice, and I could turn around and go back and do it again instead of going all the way to the top. I just do the bottom half twice.
Yeah, I saw you doing that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
would turn around and sometimes I know you're there because I would see your husband. He always goes.
Yeah, and he would shovel the steps.
That's right.
And
Yeah, so nice of him.
do you know Max?
Yep.
Big. Okay.
Yep.
One time it was during the winter, and I was in a hurry because
Motorcycle guy, right? Motorcycle guy, right?
Yep,
Mhm.
that's Max.
That's Max,
And
yeah.
anyway, he's a big guy, big burly guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was at the top, and I wanted to get home for church, so I needed to go back down the incline, and I started to go down, and I started sliding. Max reached his arm out, grabbed me, pulled me back up, and I thought, well, I'm not going down the incline.
Wow.
I'm going down bar. I
Uh-huh.
mean, he's a sweetheart of a
Yeah.
guy.
Has he done the 500, Max? Do you know if he has done the 500?
If Max has done the
Uh-huh.
500?
Yeah.
No.
Probably not.
But he was doing, he was trying to do the Incline-a-thon, doing 13 in a 24-hour period with Rachel for a while. They were
That's right.
doing
I
it
remember
together.
that. Yeah. Mhm.
I think he did 8. Maybe, I don't know if he ever
In one
got-
day? Mhm.
Yeah, I think Rachel did 13 now.
Yeah. So what was your recovery routine during that time? Like, what did you do to recover? Did you have stretching, special food, any recovery, something you did that was special?
Yeah, because when you're doing so many inclines, a lot of times you'll figure out which is the weakest muscle in your body or the weakest joint or tendon because you're pushing your body so hard. So did you run into that or?
Only when I tried to do 3 a day, I realized that this is not working for me. I think, I've always run or bike. So for me, no, I think when I was done, I think I took maybe a week off, and then I went back to climbing again. And nutrition, we try to eat healthy anyway. We don't always, but we try. And a lot of people, because I drink my water before I hike the incline. And now when I did 2 a day, I did drink water. But when I only do 1 or when I go higher, I don't drink water until I get back to the car. And people say, I just tell them I'm a camel. I carry my...
Yeah, I say I'm cameling up, and I'll drink like 50 ounces before I go. And
See, that's what I do.
I did that this morning too. Yeah.
I will drink
it's
before.
It's more convenient to not carry it all the way up. But
it is.
But you shouldn't. It's dangerous. You should.
Well, I know you bring a some kind of you bring water to the incline every morning, right?
You do.
Like
me and the kids.
Thermos.
Me and the family.
Yeah. How many gallons of water is in that thing?
It's a 5-gallon jug, and it's just so hot in the summer.
It's very nice.
And we hear the ambulances go by every day, and it's just people. They Holly has this app that she can see what the emergency calls are, and it's heat stroke, people too hot.
Oh, really?
All sorts of dehydration.
And Holly's Trevor's wife, by the way.
That's right. Yeah. So we just thought a few years ago, we were like, we live so close. We should.
That's so sweet.
We kind of feel obligated. Like, if
well,
I'm not going to do it, nobody will. So now we just make it a fun thing every morning. The kids go with us.
For who doesn't know, Trevor has a 5-gallon jug at the bottom of the incline every morning.
It's true.
And actually, I look for it sometimes because I forget my water.
Does it helps you too? Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes when we bring it up, there's people like, "Is that fresh water?" Oh, and they're so excited. Right. Like, you really should have brought water, but yes, it's just for you. You're the person who needs it the most. So
Well, any injuries then? Since you don't carry water, no challenges. So any injuries occurred during that time?
On the incline?
Yeah, during your challenge, or ever on the incline.
I've fallen. Yeah.
Falling. You're gonna fall, right?
Yeah. Well, on the incline, you don't just fall. You roll.
You roll.
You roll.
Christel has a story of that. I think he went
several steps
first,
down, face down, and he got stopped by a log.
Mine was a rock, and I was a fool not to go in because sometimes you can have a brain bleed. So
I thought I had one, but praise God, I did not. Yeah, I was fine. But yes, we had many of those. And I went, sometimes, I go backward. So I flipped and then went back on my feet. Fuck. And I was like, whoa. And I just thought, okay, I'm okay.
Mine is front flip and
that's right,
right on your feet.
Back flip.
Mine is when I fall and I roll, I'm thinking, oh gosh, don't let my teeth fall out again.
Oh yeah, I would have a little PTSD from that too. Yeah. So do you ever ice your legs when you were doing the 500? Did you have to roll or stretch? Or?
I did the Epsom salt bath.
Was that a common thing, or that was abnormal?
No, I've never done that
her
before.
body is just so conditioned. It's very impressive to not have to roll and stretch and ice every day.
Yeah, no.
I do. I have to do that. My body is very sensitive to.
I know you do those scary ice bath also, right?
Yeah, that helps the muscles.
Do you do any of those?
No, I don't do ice bath.
Yeah, I don't. I'm kind of scared to do it. You talked me into doing it. I don't think I've done the whole thing.
I know.
I think I plan to do it, but
you should in February when the ice covers the Ruxton Creek and you have to crush through it. That's when you need to go with me.
Yeah,
okay,
sure.
We'll think about that.
And then you got to go down all wet and it's freezing.
Yeah, you have to walk back to the house and get icicles on your chest. That's part of the experience.
It's true.
Well, how did it feel like reaching the 500? Like you said, okay, I've done it.
Yeah, it just felt amazing. I mean, I accomplished it. I did it. Yeah. And I think I probably did it more for my husband than for me, to be honest with you. It was something he wanted.
So like I said,
he's always been my biggest cheerleader for everything.
That's great.
Yeah, what was so you got to the top and there's this big crowd of people. I think I remember the day.
Yeah.
There's 30 or 40 different hikers and such a
so nice.
Supportive environment.
Yep.
It's so exciting, right? And,
it was.
And then you received your trophy at the top, I believe.
That's right. Greg made a plaque, which I still have. My son wants it, and eventually I'll give it to him. But and then you hosted a little barbecue at your house, which was very nice because I thought, well, do you do this for everybody, Trevor? Don't just do it. And you said, no, we do this. And so after that, I started going to, and then COVID hit, and that was the end of
Yeah.
That.
Those trophies are so nice, right? The plaques, because when you look on the back, everyone can
Yes.
initial next to their number, their finisher
Yeah.
number.
Those are the one Greg Cummings
and
does,
he
right?
hand makes them, and it's
And
just
and the fact that he made that means
so
a lot.
special,
He didn't just
yeah.
go buy something somewhere.
Yeah,
he
he
made
act-
it,
yeah,
and
it's-
it means
it's
a
pretty
lot.
incredible.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, did you learn anything? Did you learn something about yourself during that challenge? Anything you learned about yourself that you did not know?
At 70 years old, it's kind of like, I think you learn your limits, when you need to back off. And, people will say, they'll ask and I'll say, it's just one step at a time. That's all you can do. And sometimes I'll say, well, if you're going to stand there, you're never going to get to the top.
I like that. Yeah.
You need to
That's
start
right.
moving.
Yeah, keep moving. Yes.
Yeah, and it literally just is like you could do
Just-
one more step, right?
Yeah,
Like, no matter
you
how
just-
tired you are, you can do one more step.
That's right. Just do
I
one
think
more.
that translates to so many different elements in life too. Like no
Yeah.
matter how hard it is, like just one more step.
Just one moment
Just
at a
keep going.
time.
Yeah.
Even in difficult situations. Okay. We
Yeah.
can get through this. That's just,
Some of the best wisdom that was shared with me from my grandmother before she passed away. We had just had our first child, Lily. She's 11 now, but when she was a baby, my grandma said, there's going to be a really hard moment at one point. It's going to be the middle of the night. She's going to be crying. You're going to be so tired. Just remember, it's only a moment,
that's right.
and moments always pass.
That's right.
It's just a moment, and
That's
it
right.
will pass.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I've always held on to that, and it's helped
Oh,
in a lot of
absolutely.
moments in my life.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And, I tell people, at this point in my life, you get here in the blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye, all of a sudden it's like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
How did I get to be 74? 74, and yeah.
And then, so reflecting back on completing the 500 challenge, do you feel like this has taught you or people in your family what the limits are with age and athletic achievements, and that age is really just a number, and it's kind of everything is up in your head?
You're right. That's true. It's true. I think it's a good role model for everybody that, get up and move.
Yeah.
Get up and move, The only thing I have to, older now, and before I had to get there in the mornings. Even after the 500, I had to do it. And the grandkids would say, Grandma, can you please stay home? Do you have to go to the incline? And I try to go really early and sneak out and get back before they wake up, but they're up. And so lately now I'm like, I can stay home. I
Yeah.
don't have to go to the
Yeah.
incline today.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, now you're not obligated. You don't have to do those 10 a
no.
week. Yeah.
But it was a mental thing for me. Everybody has an addiction. This was my addiction.
Yeah. Well, so what advice would you give someone thinking they're too old to start doing the incline or start doing something for their body that could be challenging, that could be hurtful, right? Because, I could hurt myself, right? So what advice would you give them? Because you did this at 7 years old.
Right.
So, okay, I'm going to do 500 incline, right? Most young people quit. Right? I've known a lot of guys when I was doing my 500, they started, and then, a few months later, they disappear, right? So what advice would you give someone to keep
You don't even
Keep
have
going.
to. You don't have to do the incline. I mean, just get out and go for a walk.
That's right.
I mean, my goodness, yeah. It's,
Well, you know what? That's exactly funny you said that, because nowadays that's my routine is that I don't want to spend a day without doing the 10,000 step, which is routine for everyone, right? But it could become challenging because someday you're just like, I'm so tired. And then
Right.
it's 11:30 or it's 10 p.m. I just decided last night I'm just going to roll, put my shoes on,
Yeah.
and go. It was 11:30,
Good for
but
you.
I went.
Good for you.
Well, yeah, I decided
Good
to
for
go.
you.
I'm saying I'm not going to miss one day.
Yeah, you can think about it or you could do it.
We can
What
do
you wanna
it. Yeah, I didn't think
Yeah.
about it. And then so those kind of thing, I think,
Yeah.
you just kind of just do it, right?
Just do
Exactly.
it.
Just
Doesn't
remember
matter.
the key to longevity in life, and you've displayed this, is movement.
Yeah.
Keep moving, keep going. You want to have strong legs and just keep going. Just
Well,
like you said.
I think more
Strong
than,
legs. Kind of funny you said that.
I think even more than that is mentally. You will feel so good after you do
That's
it.
exactly
Just go
right.
for a walk in the fresh air.
There was this lady who was on that podcast. I think it's an English guy. He does a podcast, I think, about entrepreneur. Anyway, and she's a doctor, and she says the key to a strong brain, what do you think it is? strong and healthy brain. That's right. Strong legs.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah,
They're
because you're going to
amazing.
be walking, running.
That's
You're
right.
going to get that mindset you're talking about.
That's
and
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
It is how you have a healthy mindset.
That's
It
right.
does.
You got to move.
It does.
And
How do you hope to be? Well, sorry.
Go for
How
it.
do you hope to be remembered?
I hope to remember that I was kind. I think more than anything. And, you know, you look at life and you think, I could have been kinder. I could have been nicer.
That's right.
I could have been more compassionate. That's more than anything. I think I want my grandchildren to see me being kind and compassionate. I can't ask for anything more.
Yeah, I love that. And then do you have a favorite memory on the incline in the 20-something years you said you've been hiking it?
Oh, a favorite memory. Oh, just recently, because my grandkids, some of them, I think almost all of them have done it, and then all my kids have done it, but my youngest daughter does it with me more than any of the other kids. And one day it started raining, and then it started lightning, and then the thunder.
That's right.
And she's running, and she says, "Come on, Mom." And I'm laughing, because it is close. It is close. And I said, "Honey, if I die today, I'm going to die happy." And she's, that was probably my funny, because I'm laughing the whole way down. She's having.
Was that one of the recent rainstorms?
Yeah, well, I think it was last year. It was just this.
Yeah.
It was this spring.
It comes
was-
in fast, and the hail comes in quickly too.
Oh
and
yes.
And it goes
Oh
away.
yes.
And then the sun
It does
comes
go
back
quick,
out.
but
Yeah.
when that lightning is hitting,
Oh, that was close.
Yeah.
If the thunder is close, that lightning is close.
I love
It's
how
true.
your near-death experiences, your response is to just laugh at it.
I'm like, hey, I'm going to die happy, Jess. Just keep going. You keep going. You got to raise your kids.
Yeah, that's great.
So what is next then?
For me?
Yeah, any goal on your list to accomplish?
No, I really
1,000 incline, maybe?
no.
No, it sounds like
No.
to spend that time with those grandkids.
Yeah,
she's starting to.
I think if I was younger, I would have maybe not. But at this point in my life, I just want to keep doing it.
Yep.
And well, here's another funny story. I thought, okay, I'm going to start cutting back, because I probably was doing it 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go down to 4.
Yeah.
And then my daughter said, hey, there's this vertical challenge for 1 month. And I said, I don't want to do it.
Oh, that was the Oktoberfest?
No, it was
No?
something on base, on the
Oh, okay, on base,
academy.
yeah,
And I said,
okay.
you know what, don't sign me up. I don't want to do it. She was going to do it. And so who signs me up? But her and her father signed me up to do it. Well, if you're going to sign me up to do it, of course I'm going to do it.
You see, this is the thing. You see, I tell my kids, like, sometimes you don't, like, just because you do something for somebody, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing, right?
No.
We do things for people sometimes.
Right.
And you choose the people you want to do things for.
That's
I
true.
would say. But we do things for people. Yeah. Sometimes when somebody tells me, let's do something, I think about it. I say, okay, I'll do
Yeah,
it.
sure, why
That's
not?
why I did the Grand Canyon. I said,
yeah, good for you.
Bob told me, not Bob, actually Bob. Well, anyway,
Oh, the rim to rim?
The rim to rim.
Yeah.
yeah, you said you went with Bob.
Yeah,
once.
I went to
3
Bob,
times, right?
but no, he was here earlier. It wasn't Bob. Oh gosh, I
Dana?
have a blank here.
Was it-
Here. He was here earlier with his wife. A great friend of mine. But anyway, gosh, that's funny. But
Couple
anyway,
people
so
have
he
done
told
that.
me,
Yeah.
let's do the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what, let's do it.
Yeah, sure.
And then so we prepared for a year, and Bob went with us the second year, but Bob turned out to do more. He's done
know.
like 23 of them. But I just did it because somebody else told me to do it, and
I
it turned
know.
out to be a good thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice when you say yes to adventure,
That's right.
right?
Oh,
Sometimes,
sure,
yes.
why not?
Yeah.
What do you got to lose? That's like there's a group, 5 of them are going to do Mount Whitney, I think, this coming weekend. Mickey Flowers, Dana, Roger, and there's 2 others that I can't remember, but they're going
Yeah,
to...
John Shellhammer. John
Okay,
Shellhammer. John was
okay.
right here earlier.
Yeah.
John, don't kill me if you hear that podcast. I did not forget your name. I just had a blank.
Well,
All right.
Anne, it was a pleasure speaking with
Well,
you.
thank you for
I loved
asking.
hearing all of the mindset and the background behind the accomplishment, and it was really great to get to know you a little bit deeper than the typical hi and, you know,
That's right.
knuckle bump when we pass each other.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
it was a
But you
pleasure
know,
talking
you
with
know,
you.
Trevor, I know you know a lot on what's going on the Incline. Any news this week on the Incline? Anything special happen? I think we need to have a little rubric, just kind of something,
cool.
anything
Yeah.
special
There's
that
actually,
happened there. Yeah.
I just hiked with my neighbor, Daniel Otter.
Uh-huh.
He just completed an incline-a-thon today, which is 13 inclines. So that's kind
Wow.
of the most
Is
recent.
he the one who did the
real
challenge,
fast
the
downhill?
record?
Yeah, him.
Okay, what is his name?
Daniel Otter.
Otter. So we
Yeah.
need to get him on the podcast sometime.
Yeah, I think he'll be interested.
Yeah.
But he that's the most recent thing I can think of. An incline-a-thon is big news.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Anybody finishing the 500 this
Chaban says
month?
he's. Do you
Yeah,
know
maybe
Chaban?
this year there'll be a couple people, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll
Yeah.
track these people, and then maybe we'll do something for them here.
Yeah, that'll be
Instead
fun.
of you doing the barbecue.
Mhm.
All right.
Oh, that was fun.
That would be
That was
fun.
really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I'll
got some-
bring back the barbecues.
Yeah,
will be good.
yeah, that would be nice.
Nobody
And I-
died. Nobody fall. Nobody. No bad news on the Incline last week.
Well, there's just the typical.
I think there were ambulance called.
Yeah,
a couple of
safety
times.
calls and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One was on
It just-
bar. Wasn't one of them on bar?
Yeah, a lot of times, lots of twisted ankles and
Yeah.
injuries. It just is. It's kind of a treacherous trail, honestly, for
It
a
is.
typical person that doesn't hike very often. There's a lot of tree roots and a lot of big steps,
Yep.
and you're fatigued from doing the incline in
Yep.
a lot of cases too. A lot of times people don't have enough water, so fortunately, it does happen often. It's a big trail.
Yeah. And I just
All right.
wanted to say it was very generous of Holly to open up her home for your barbecue. It really, truly was.
Yeah.
I was amazed because people were running in and out and up and down, and she was just very calm.
Yeah.
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 I'm so grateful to have her in my life.
Oh, I
That's
bet.
right.
Yeah.
I bet.
All right. Well, that was the Incline Trackers podcast. Another episode down here with Trevor, and we had Anne with us. It was great to talk to you, Anne, and I'm sure you're gonna hear great things about you on the Incline.
I don't know.
And then so, anything else you want to add?
Well, thank you for asking
Well,
me.
thank you for
Thank you,
coming.
Trevor.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. Well, that was it. We're out. So we're gonna have our podcast next week. It's gonna be on Thursday. Is that correct?
Thursday with Rick Webb.
Rick Webb. Wow, yeah, famous Rick. He's done a lot of things, and so we're gonna kind of dig down with him. And don't forget, we are at Inclination Cafe. And if you really want to know anything about the Incline, just come and just be part of the audience. Of course, we have the Incline Trackers app. You can download, track your incline, get some swags.
Oh yeah, you get a
The
free
big
drink
climbs.
if you do the incline, right?
Yeah, get a free drink.
Yeah,
You
why
get
not?
$2
Get that.
off. Get some Bitcoin. The big climbs are the reward we give. So download the app. Thank you.
Thank you.